Should we have Sophia come forward and Jonathan?
So I'd like to invite down the star of the film, Sophia Pell, and her father, Jonathan Yin. So we have time for a few questions. Shy.
What's next?
I'm actually trying to turn The Golden Voice into a full-length feature film about Rosewood Isatia, so that's an ongoing project at the moment.
What's your inspiration for this? Why did you write this story?
Well, I've been researching Rosewood Isatia's story for some time, and when I went to Cambodia to learn more about her, I ended up meeting some people over there who told me their stories, and this is based upon the true stories of some of my friends who grew up in were born in Cambodia, grew up in the States, and then went back to look for family. And one friend in particular had a story somewhat similar to this, maybe not quite as dramatic, but he had a lot of difficulty finding his sisters, but he did manage to find one of them, and he was actually the production manager on the film, and his sister worked on the crew as well when we shot in Cambodia, so that was kind of cool.
Back to the film, where you, where was that temple at?
That was a temple about 5 or 10 miles outside of Phnom Penh, along Highway 1. I'm not sure, no, not Highway 1, number 6, if that helps. I don't know the name of it, unfortunately. It was, we found it probably the day before we shot there, so I'm not sure. Do you remember the name?
What were the differences in shooting between Phnom Penh and Los Angeles?
Interestingly enough, LA was 10 times more stressful and more difficult. Shooting in Cambodia was an absolute pleasure. We had a great time. We didn't really run into too many problems. That being said, overall everything went quite well, but just in general, I found Cambodia a much friendlier atmosphere for filming. And just, it's so much easier to get things done there. Whereas in LA especially, there's so much red tape to do anything that it's so difficult and just so expensive. But we made it happen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we had a lot of lake scenes, and they are not shot on this side.
Most of the river stuff was the Mekong River, actually. Yeah, as far as I recall, it was all along the Mekong between Phnom Penh, and we shot a bit of the film up in Kampong Cham as well. So we were tracing the Mekong for a lot of the shoot.
Were supporting actors American or Cambodian?
Most of the actors are Cambodian and live in Cambodia. When we shot in LA, obviously Jonathan and Sophia were there. When we shot in Cambodia, obviously she came with us. But I think aside from you were the only actor we brought over. Everyone else was local in Phnom Penh. And some people we would cast the day of in Kampong Cham or wherever we happen to be.
Actor and actress, what kind of training did you guys have? You guys are really good at your acting. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say, hello everybody in Stockton. Thank you for having us here. Actually, prior to The Golden Voice, which I did first with him, I have no acting experience. And I think Golden Voice, which is about a week of shooting, that was probably the only first experience I have. And the later one here, being my full feature, that's the only experience I have.
As for me, it's the same, basically the same thing. I don't have any acting background or anything like that. It's just more like really compassionate about the scene and the film and stuff like that. So and then, fortunately, I met Greg when he was making Golden Boys, and during that time, I had a small role as a nightclub manager, where Rosa Sophia was singing in that club right there. And then when he developed the Two Shadow, that's when I hear from him back and say, hey, I want it to be this. If you want to try out, and that happens, becoming that part of that. But before that, I don't have any training or anything like that at all.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Were there any similarities or differences in how you grew up when you went through the story?
There was some similarity, except that my brother and I didn't get separated at the time border. He was actually left behind at home because he was too young to travel with us, I think in 1985. He was still an infant, so we had to leave him behind. And similarly, 20 years later, I went back to Cambodia. Well, obviously I didn't kidnap him or anything. I did the whole, sponsoring and went to pick him up. It was my first time in Cambodia, and it was my first time picking him up to come to the U.S. And that was in 2006. That was my first time back home.
Yeah, we have time for 1 more.
Okay, so I'm Hispanic here, and I didn't know exactly what I was coming for, but I just wanted to tell the director and the actresses that you guys gave us a more, like a big scenario of idea of what it is. First, going through that Pol Pot, is that what it's called? Pol Pot. And it's just very inspiring story. And it's a great story to share. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, my question is, are you thinking of taking this more to a bigger picture, or are you guys going to live it locally, or you're going to be taking it to different cities, or what's your idea on this?
Right now, we're doing a couple things. We have the film on home video, and it will actually be available outside after the screening if you'd like to get a DVD or Blu-ray or poster, and I'm sure the cast will sign it for you. So that's one thing we are doing is home video. But the other thing we're doing is this. We're touring, physically touring with the film so that we can talk to the audience just like this. So we've screened the film in Thailand, LA, Cambodia, Long Beach, Santa Ana, Stockton. This is our Stockton premiere, and then next weekend we're going to Lowell, Massachusetts to screen the film at the Southeast Asian Water Festival there. So we would like to continue doing that, traveling around with the film and being there with the audience. But for now, it is a very small thing. This is a very small, independent, low-budget project. And who knows, maybe someone will be interested for international distribution or something. That'd be great. But for now, this is a very do-it-yourself kind of project. So, and I'm fine with that. It's fun.
Thank you so much for sharing. Great actors, by the way.
Thank you all so much for coming. We'll be in the lobby for a bit if you have more questions. And we're going to have an after party at Masa, is it called?
Masa.
So if you want to join us, please do.
Masa Japanese Lounge near Brookside. So come out there, and I hope you guys purchase the DVD out there. It's only $10 for the Golden Boys and $15 for the Shadows.
And I just want to thank Sombo for putting this together. Thank you so much.
For those who called me to get the free advance ticket, we're going to call out your names in a bit right now for a free DVD drawing. The lucky ticket. Uh-oh.
Something that rhymes with Bob.
Rob, my neighbor.
How did that happen?
One